Hi, Dr. Dahle. I have a question in regards to TSP transfers. I am currently an active duty physician in the United States Air Force, but I will be separating from the military later this year. Currently, I have investments in the Roth TSP, Roth IRAs at Vanguard, and taxable account at Vanguard. My plan is to transfer my Roth TSP into my Roth IRA at Vanguard. Do you see any particular advantages or disadvantages to this strategy? My main reason for the transfer is primarily to simplify my investment accounts so that I can access all of them in one place. Thank you for all that you do.
All right, Ben, good question. TSP, situation I was in, I had a TSP when I finished my military service in 2010, had to decide what to do with it. I had a more interesting issue. I had a bunch of tax-exempt money in there that I had contributed while I was deployed, and I was trying to figure out a way to get that into a Roth IRA. I was actually able to do that. I essentially rolled out almost all of my money out of the TSP. Once I separated, I rolled almost all of it out, and I then rolled the tax-deferred money back into the TSP, leaving behind just the tax-exempt money. And then I was able to convert that to a Roth IRA with no tax costs. So that was a pretty cool trick. Doesn't sound like you're dealing with that issue. You got a bunch of Roth money in there already. You're trying to decide, do I leave it or do I pull it out? Well, it used to be the TSP had lower costs than anyone else. The truth is now you can go to Schwab, Fidelity, Vanguard, and all the costs are about the same. TSP is still a great investment, right? Great funds in there, but it's not dramatically cheaper than anybody else. And so you don't get that benefit. You really are left with only one benefit of the TSP, as near as I can tell. Well, that's not necessarily true, but one main one. The TSP offers the G Fund. The G Fund is one of my main holdings. It basically gives you treasury bond returns or treasury bond yields with money market risk. So that's pretty cool. It's like a money market fund on steroids, and you can't get that anywhere else. Some 401ks offer something similar called a stable value fund, but for the most part, this is a TSP unique investment. And so that was why I kept money in the TSP. I wanted to be able to use the G Fund. And indeed, today, all of my TSP money is in the G Fund. In fact, I can't even get all my bonds in there because luckily I've got more money than my bond allocation will fit into the TSP. So that's a good problem for me. But if you are very interested in keeping the G Fund in your portfolio, that might be a reason to keep the TSP. Otherwise, roll it into a Roth IRA. You got, again, low costs of Vanguard. You got lots of investment options. The only real downside, aside from losing the TSP, G Fund, is you get a little less asset protection in some states. Some states offer a little more asset protection for a 401k, like the TSP, than they do for an IRA. So I guess that's a potential risk there. But for the most part, it's simplified. There's more investments. There's less hassle. And most people would probably roll their money into a Roth IRA in your situation. If you want your questions answered by the White Coat Investor, record your question at whitecoatinvestor.com/YQA. or click the link in the description.
My dad, your host, Dr. Dahle, is a practicing emergency physician, blogger, author, and podcaster. He is not a licensed accountant, attorney, or financial advisor, so this podcast is for your entertainment and information only and should not be considered official, personalized financial advice.